Kyoto, a city with a history spanning over 1,400 years, is home to more than 2,000 religious sites, including 1,660 Buddhist temples, 400 Shinto shrines, and 90 Christian churches, all nestled within its historic streets and modern urban landscape. Among these, 17 have been designated UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 13 Buddhist temples, 3 Shinto shrines, and 1 castle. Here is a brief history of Kyoto. In the late 8th century AD, Kamo Tenno, Japan's 50th emperor, relocated the imperial capital to escape the growing influence of Nara's powerful Buddhist monasteries. After a brief and ill-fated move to Nagaoka, Kamo established the new capital at what is now Kyoto in 794. The site was strategically chosen, with mountains to the north providing natural protection against malevolent spirits. Kyoto was meticulously planned, featuring a central walled palace and a grid of broad avenues and narrow lanes. The city quickly flourished, attracting a growing population and becoming a hub for temples, shrines, and master artisans, including calligraphers, kabuki performers, and ikebana, flower arrangement, experts. Kyoto served as Japan's imperial capital for over a millennium, until 1868, when the capital was moved to Edo, modern Tokyo. Despite the transition, Kyoto has remained Japan's cultural and spiritual heart. Even after enduring centuries of wars, fires, and earthquakes, it remains one of Japan's best-preserved cities. Kyoto's older districts exude a timeless spiritual essence that continues to captivate visitors from around the world. Kyoto, along with its temples and shrines, is best understood through the lens of Shinto, Japan's indigenous religion, meaning, the way of the gods, which is as ancient as the nation itself. Unlike many other faiths, Shinto has no single founder, no supreme deity, no central doctrine, and no official scriptures comparable to the Bible or Quran. At its core is the belief in a sacred power that permeates all things and the idea that humans are inherently good, with evil arising from malevolent spirits. To ward off these spirits, followers engage in various practices, such as visiting shrines, offering prayers, and making gifts to the Shinto deities, known as kami. These kami are sacred essences that can manifest as natural elements, concepts, or entities, including rivers, mountains, trees, wind, and rain, as well as abstract ideas like literature, prosperity, and fertility. Worship at a Shinto shrine follows a straightforward ritual. Near the entrance of shrines and temples, visitors typically encounter a temazuya, a small purification fountain. Using shikushi, bamboo ladles, they cleanse their hands and mouths as a purification ritual before entering the sacred grounds. Once purified, worshippers approach the altar or shrine, bow deeply twice, clap twice, bow deeply once more, and then offer their prayers. In some locations, this ritual is accompanied by ringing a bell to draw the spirit's attention to the worshipper's desires. Additionally, incense, osenko, may sometimes be burned as part of the offering. After prayers, offerings are placed into a designated box. Visitors often write their wishes on wooden plaques called ema and leave them at the shrine, hoping for their dreams to come true. Many shrines also provide amikuji, paper fortune strips, which are tied to trees to ward off bad luck or invite good fortune, reminiscent of the Irish tradition of tying prayers to kludi trees. Talismans, known as mamori, are also available for purchase and offer blessings for specific needs, such as traffic safety, good health, business success, safe childbirth, or academic achievement. The sacred shrine structures are built in the ancient Shinmaizukuri architectural style, adhering to traditional religious principles that honor the kami. Now that we have a solid understanding of Kyoto's history and the religions that shaped it, let's explore 10 sacred sites in Kyoto that I believe are especially worth visiting. Let's begin with site number 1, Ryoanji Temple, also known as the Temple of the Peaceful Dragon. This temple is home to what is often regarded as the finest Zen rock garden in the world. Created in the 15th century, this garden is a prime example of karasansui, the Japanese art of dry landscape gardening. It uses raked gravel, meticulously repatterned daily, sand, and carefully arranged stones to evoke tranquil, meditative scenes. The garden at Ryoanji features 15 stones arranged across a field of white gravel in 5 groupings, 5, 2, 3, 2, and 3. The stones are positioned so that, from any viewpoint other than directly above, at least one stone remains hidden from view. In Buddhism, the number 15 symbolizes completeness. This deliberate design, where shifting your perspective reveals a hidden stone while another fades from sight, illustrates the human inability to fully comprehend true completeness. According to tradition, only someone who has achieved enlightenment can perceive all 15 stones at once. Site number 2 is Fushimi Inari Shrine, renowned for its picturesque trail of thousands of red torii gates, dedicated to Inari, the Shinto kami, deity, of grains and fertility. This striking phenomenon stems from visitors offering torii gates or sacred stones, known as Osaka, at the shrine. Founded in AD 711, Fushimi Inari Shrine now attracts over 10 million Shinto and Buddhist visitors annually, all seeking blessings for abundance and prosperity. Inari shrines, like this one, can be found throughout Japan and are easily identified by the presence of guardian foxes, believed to be messengers of the kami or, in some interpretations, representations of Inari herself. At the shrine's entrance, 2 large fox statues stand as protectors of the rice granary, their bushy tails symbolizing fruitful years of rice. Inari is uniquely depicted as both male and female, with representations ranging from an old man holding rice panicles to a young goddess or an androgynous bodhisattva riding a fox. In some legends, Inari is said to possess the ability to transform into a fox or a human woman, engaging in relationships with men and rewarding them with prosperous rice harvests. Shinto ceremonies at Fushimi Inari Taisha involve purification rituals, offerings, prayers, and symbolic feasts shared with the kami. Key annual events include New Year's Day prayers for happiness and protection, the Hoshasai archery ceremony on January 12 to ward off evil, the Inari Sai on May 3 to give thanks for prosperity, and the rice planting festival on June 10 to pray for a bountiful harvest. The fire-burning festival on November 8 marks the end of the harvest season and serves as a time for giving thanks. Site number 3 is Enryakuji Monastery, located on the sacred Mount High overlooking Kyoto. Founded by the Buddhist monk Saicho in 805 CE, it became the center of the politically influential Tendai sect of Buddhism. Once home to 3,000 buildings and a standing army, the monastery has since diminished in size but remains renowned for its 3 lamps that have burned continuously for over 1,200 years. A key pilgrimage site, it regularly hosts prayer rituals dedicated to the preservation of the Japanese state. Enryakuji is also notable for its tradition of military arts and extreme ascetic practices. Monks here engage in kaihojyo, or marathon running, as a spiritual discipline. Over the course of 7 years, these monks undertake a grueling journey of 1,000 days of running, averaging 19 miles daily, interspersed with meditation and Buddhist studies. During the 5th year, the monk undergoes a 9-day period of intense meditation, abstaining entirely from food, water, and sleep. Completing the 1,000 days is believed to lead to enlightenment. The sprawling 5,000-acre, 2,025-hectare, complex is divided into 3 main areas: to-do, East Precinct, the busiest section, filled with pilgrims, monks, and tourists, and home to the largest and most sacred structures. These include the Kampan Chudo, main hall, built on the site of Seicho's original hermitage, and the Amida-do, which enshrines a statue of the Amida Buddha. Saito, West Precinct, located a 20-minute walk from to-do, this quieter area houses Seicho's mausoleum and other historically significant structures. Yakuwa area, the most remote of the 3, it features several smaller halls and shrines scattered amidst serene natural surroundings. Sites number 4 and 5 are 2 of Kyoto's most iconic and photographed buildings, Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion, and Ginkakuji, the Silver Pavilion. Originally the residences of local shoguns, both structures have since been transformed into Buddhist temples. Kinkakuji, also known as the Golden Pavilion, was originally constructed in 1397. However, in 1950, a fanatic monk set it on fire, destroying the structure. Rebuilt in 1955, the current building is a faithful replica of the original temple. This three-story building, topped with a delicately curving roof, owes its nickname to the fine gold leaf covering the walls and eaves of the upper two floors. The pagoda sits on the edge of the tranquil Kyokochi, mirror pond. The beauty of the gleaming Buddhist temple, surrounded by elegant formal gardens, is said to evoke paradise on earth. In addition to religious carvings and paintings, the pavilion serves as a sherry den, a hall housing sacred relics of the Buddha. Ginkakuji Temple, the silver pavilion, contrasts with the golden pavilion, Kinkakuji, across the city, though plans to cover it with silver foil were never realized. On the second floor, a statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy, is enshrined, while the first floor houses 1,000 statues of Jizo, the guardian god of children. It was at Ginkakuji that the Japanese tea ceremony was elevated to a refined art form, and the original tea ceremony room is still preserved. The temple also features two meticulously sculpted sand mounds, the Moon Mound and the Sea of Silver Sand. These elements are designed to reflect moonlight, enhancing the garden's beauty during moonlit evenings. The temple is best accessed via the serene and contemplative path of philosophy, or Tetsugaku no Michi, in northern Higashiyama. This picturesque 1-mile, canal-side path stretches from Ginkakuji Temple in the north to Ikendu Temple in the south, bordered by cherry, willow, and maple trees. The path is particularly renowned for its cherry blossoms in spring and vibrant foliage in fall. It is named after Nishida Kitaro, 1870–1945, a philosophy professor at Kyoto University, who would take invigorating walks along this scenic route to clear his mind after contemplating complex questions about reality and humanity's place in the universe. Although the walk itself may only take 30 minutes, the many distractions along the way can easily extend your exploration to a few hours. Site number 6 is Kayamizadera, perched on the slopes of Mount Ottawa. It is one of Kyoto's most famous temples. Originally founded in 778 AD, the temple is renowned for its wooden stage, which juts out from the main hall and offers panoramic views of Kyoto, particularly stunning during cherry blossom season and autumn foliage. The name Kayamizu means pure water, derived from the Ottawa waterfall located on the temple grounds. Visitors can drink from the waterfall's 3 streams, each believed to grant a specific blessing, longevity, academic success, or a prosperous love life. The temple also houses a shrine dedicated to Jishu, the god of love and matchmaking. Pilgrims can attempt to walk between 2 stones placed 18 meters apart with their eyes closed. A successful journey is said to ensure true love. Site number 7 is the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove, one of the most famous attractions in Kyoto. There is something sublime about being surrounded by these towering bamboo stalks, gently swaying in the wind, creating a meditative atmosphere that invites reflection on the transient nature of life. Site number 8 is the Shimagamo Shrine, the oldest Shinto shrine in Japan. Established in 678 CE, it is one of Kyoto's most important and ancient shrines, located alongside the nearby Kamigamo Shrine, situated downstream next to the sacred Tadasu no Mori, Forest of Purity. This 12.4-hectare, 30-acre, primal forest is home to over 3,000 trees, including ancient Japanese elms that are more than 600 years old. The Mitarashi River flows through the forest and feeds the sacred Mitarashi-ike Pond, located within the temple grounds. The pond is believed to purify those who bathe in or drink from its waters. Nestled at the confluence of the Kamo and Takano rivers, Shimagamo Shrine has long been revered as a protector of Kyoto. Known as Kamojinja, it was historically tasked with safeguarding the city from evil spirits. The shrine is dedicated to 2 central Shinto deities, Tamayoriheim, the goddess and mother of Japan's first emperor, Jimmu, and her father, Kamo Taketsunami. The shrine also hosts Kyoto's largest Shinto festival, the Aoi Matsuri, every May 15th, during which a grand procession of pilgrims, dressed in Heian-era costumes, makes its way to the Kamigamo Shrine. Site number 9 is the Yisei of Kyoto, also known as the Hyuga or Himukai Shrine, a 1,500-year-old sacred site dedicated to Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and her granddaughter. Amaterasu, revered for her supernatural powers, is considered the ruler of the 8 million Japanese gods. She is associated with education, families, and the nourishment of the earth. It is said that she gave the art of silk farming and the 5 basic grains to mankind to sustain the earth and feed humanity. Additionally, she sent her grandson to earth with the 3 holy talismans of Shinto, the mirror, the jewel, and the sword, to rule over men and civilize them. The outer shrine, or Gekku, is dedicated to Amaterasu's granddaughter, while the inner shrine, or Naiku, is dedicated to Amaterasu herself. A sacred spring separates the Gekku from the Naiku, and some visitors have reported seeing an apparition of a Shinto priest who still roams the grounds, caring for Amaterasu's sacred place. Even more special, secluded to the side and up about 50 steps from the main shrine, is the Iwato, or sacred cave, linked to the myth of Amaterasu retreating into darkness. The shrine also hosts important rituals, such as the Wakamizusai, Setsuban, and the Feast of the Inner Shrine. Last but certainly not least, site number 10 is Sunju Senjendo, a stunning 12th century Heian-era temple. It is home to a magnificent 6-foot-tall statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy. In her aspect as Juchiman Senju Kannon, Kannon is depicted with 11 faces and 1,000 arms, embodying her infinite compassion. The 11 faces encircling her crown symbolize her ability to perceive the suffering of countless beings. Her 1,000 arms, representing the capacity to save 1,000 worlds, are symbolically achieved through 40 arms, each capable of assisting 25 worlds, in addition to her 2 regular arms. These hands hold sacred objects designed to ward off misfortune, including a rosary, sword, lotus, trident, and mirror. Flanking the central statue are 1,001 smaller figures of Kannon, each covered in radiant gold leaf. Each of these statues also has 40 arms. While the figures appear identical at first glance, close observation reveals subtle, unique details in each, emphasizing the individuality of Kannon's representations. The hall's name, which translates to Hall of 33 Bays, reflects the number of spaces between its columns and Kannon's ability to manifest into 33 distinct forms, addressing various needs. According to the temple brochure, the 1,001 statues, each capable of 33 aspects, represent a staggering 33,033 manifestations of the beloved Bodhisattva. In addition to the 1,001 statues of Kannon, the hall houses 28 statues of her attendant deities, guardians who protect and guide devotees. The building itself is an architectural marvel, recognized as the longest wooden structure in Japan, stretching nearly 400 feet, 120 meters. Its impressive length has inspired an annual archery contest since the 1600s, where participants, often young women dressed in traditional attire, compete to honor the temple's legacy. Nearby, visitors can explore the Ryazan Kannon and Rokuharamitsuji temples for further spiritual reflection. Ryazan Kannon boasts a towering 80-foot, 24-meter, 500-ton statue of Kannon that commemorates Japanese unknown soldiers of World War II. Meanwhile, Rokuharamitsuji, the 17th stop on the Kansai region's 33 Kannon pilgrimage route, is known for offering solace to the souls of those without living relatives.